Good afternoon and welcome to our online news update at 1 p.m. My name is Edith Kimani for KTN. Now, Machakos Governor Alfred Mutua has termed the calls to impeach him as petty politics meant to hamper developments in his county. Speaking during a special address to the Machakos County Assembly, he said that he was ready to work with all leaders of Machakos and the entire Ukambani region for the sake of the people. He did also caution those with what he termed as cheap politics, that he is instead focusing on development issues.
We are and will continue to be unwalkable. Let us continue reaching out to others so that we can all move together to achieve the Machakos dream. Those who fight development are fighting God's work, because God wants his people to be freed from poverty and suffering. Those who fight God's work will never win. And the people who are keen to destabilize Machakos, as they have done to other counties, will fail again and again.
A report released by the Institute for Security Studies has revealed that close to 18 million Kenyans live in extreme poverty. This comes as Kenya is named as one of the best performing African nations, but most of the wealth generated does not benefit the poor. Now, the report further faults the education sector as well as infrastructure, which are said to have focused on urban elite rather than the rural poor. Now, the Institute for Security Studies Executive Director Jackie Killers has now called on the government to focus on empowering the rural poor in order to reduce poverty levels in line with the Millennium Development Goals.
But in the longer term, you have to invest in education, particularly female education. You have to invest in infrastructure. You have to invest in social inclusion, which comes together in what we refer to as a package of pro-poor growth. Pro-poor growth means you try and take the poorest people with you. It's very difficult to do, and it requires clear leadership and an ethical administration.
I think it's safe to say that many of us have dreams of making something of ourselves, at least I do. But as to how many of us actually pursue that dream to its fruition is a different matter altogether. But for one man, his dream has been to make a plane, and this dream has been burnt in him since childhood. From the toy planes that he made during his childhood, Gabriel Nderitu has now constructed a drone-like object that he drove to Kieni in Tetu to test its efficacy. Nderitu, who did not pursue aeronautical engineering, did not let that end his dream of building a plane. And with a little polishing, he is optimistic that what he will eventually come up with will be a masterpiece. Here's Karen Derry with that story.
Gabriel Nderitu, aged 47, regards himself as a budding aeroplane maker. His dreams are valid, he says. If this drone-like object is anything to go by, then Nderitu is seemingly on the right track. What started out as just a metal contraption is now a drone in the making.
Even if we do not succeed, somebody somewhere else in Kenya will probably complete this work, and he will not start where I started.
The power of the engine, an indicator of the milestones he has achieved since the journey began in his garage at Kahawa West area.
It is a hobby, and it was a long-term interest since childhood.
He has come to test his machine in Kiawara in Kieni constituency, an area that offers large tracts of land ideal for his mission, that of testing the palatability of his creation. Villagers throng the object in awe, evening chores forgotten. The father of two did not pursue a degree in aeronautical engineering as he would have loved to. He, however, did not veer off too far, as he has a Bachelor of Science in Physics degree. His dallying with planes began when he was a small boy, as he would make his own using anything he laid his hands on. Pieces of metal, plastic, sticks, you name it.
Even if we do not succeed, somebody somewhere else in Kenya will probably complete this work, and he will not start where I started.
It takes him roughly 15 minutes to assemble the remote-controlled drone. A friend of his has promised to donate an engine worth 600,000 shillings, a donation which he believes will kickstart him to making a real plane. He has named his creation Upendo, a 130-kilogram affair down from the 500-kilogram object it once was. For those who dismiss him as a joker, Nderitu has one thing to say to them. Watch this space, he says. And with the now famous quote that is attributed to the Oscars winner Lupita Nyong'o, dreams are valid. Mine and yours. Carol Derry, KTN, Nyeri.
A look at the business news now, and the Kenya Ferry Services is projecting daily ferry passenger numbers to hit 500,000 in the next 1 year. The Likoni-based company has recorded unprecedented growth, currently handling 350,000, passengers a day. KFS also handles over 6,000 vehicles crossing to the Likoni Channel between the island and the South Coast mainland every day, and the numbers are likely to double if the same pattern recorded in the past 4 years is replayed. In 2004, Kenya Ferry crossed around 108 million passengers and close to 2 million motorists, including tourists and those who cross to either side for work or business. And to address the surge in passenger numbers, Kenya Ferry is in the process of procuring 2 new ferries. The company has already awarded a tender to a Turkish shipyard company, and it is expected to deliver the new ferries by mid-2016. Associated battery manufacturers have launched a new product line aimed at boosting their presence in East Africa's automotive batteries market. ABM has invested 600 million shillings in setting up facilities to manufacture maintenance-free batteries, a product they say is in line with technological advancements in the country and the region as well. Now, ABM is also leveraging on the growing automotive sector in the country, which grew at 21% in the last year as a ready market for its new product. ABM commands a 65% market share in Kenya and 35% in Uganda and Tanzania, with their dominant brand, Chloride Exide. The firm's major export markets include Rwanda, Zambia, Djibouti and Sudan, and these are the markets it hopes to target with at least 10,000 units of batteries every month. While attending the launch, Cabinet Secretary of Industrialization emphasized on the government's efforts to create a friendlier business environment by bringing down the cost of doing business for manufacturers and fighting counterfeit trade.
Obviously, we'll continue to expand our capacity on the maintenance-free batteries. We're currently making about 10,000 maintenance-free batteries a month. In the next few years, we think that will grow to 50 to 60,000 maintenance-free batteries a month. So we'll continue to grow the capacity ceilings that we have, whilst we also embrace new technologies. It's important that we remain ahead of new technologies rather than behind. As we see the new technologies coming in the vehicles that are imported into the country, consumers are going to be expecting to replicate that same technology when they're replacing batteries, and our responsibility is to make sure that we're in a position to give it to them.
Some of the things that our industrial businesses are really complaining about is a high cost of energy, high cost of illicit trade and counterfeits that is coming into our countries. And I'm very pleased to hear that the team here is focused on their core business, producing the best quality products at affordable price that is being used in our country. As a government, we have made sure that the raw materials that are used by companies like ABM continues to be available so that our industries can thrive.
A look now at the sports, and a main cup quarter-final in Hong Kong in March is Kenya's Sevens rugby team's focus. The team which won the Bull Trophy in Las Vegas last weekend returned home this morning, and the Hong Kong Sevens is set for the 27th to the 29th of March this year.
After an international outing that saw Kenya Sevens team collect a total of 18 points from 2 legs of the HSBC Wilder Sevens series, the home team arrived back at home Wednesday morning and announced it will use the long break to re-energize ahead of the 6th leg in Hong Kong at the end of March. The side defied the odds to collect 10 points at Wellington with a plate semi-finals run, then won the ball finals, beating Argentina 24-21 to add 8 more points to their total points tally. A result that sees them stays 12th on the log on 29 points, but with optimism to better their performance.
That whatever it is we do, that we're representing our sponsors, the Kenya Rugby Union, and obviously the country as a whole. And with that, hopefully going forward, we're striving for perfection.
We are still going to work hard, try and to build into our strengths, and try and work on our weaknesses to be able to get Kenya to the best place it can be in the ranking.
And with high rise of Kenya sports unions embroidered in leadership drama, Gabriel Ouko, who stepped into Mwangi's Muthee showers in December, remained optimistic that the union will sort their issues so as to better the sport. This comes as Kenya Airways reaffirmed that they will remain committed on sponsoring the team.
Our sponsorship will continue as long as we know that there's good governance in place.
I will promise you one thing. We will sort out our problems as Kenya Rugby Union. We are not going to be associated with other sports like people have been doing the last couple of weeks. So all the problems that we have are going to get sorted out within the next couple of weeks.
Kenya has been pulled against the USA, England and Wales for the 6th round in Hong Kong, set for 27th to 29th of March. Moses Wahisi, KTN Sports.
Edison Cavani spared Paris Saint-Germain the blushes as he netted a crucial equalizer to ensure his side is still in contention for a Champions League quarter-final berth in an all-draw against Chelsea in Paris. But Chelsea have the advantage of the away goal, which was netted by Branislav Ivanovic. John Terry engineered the goal as Gary Cahill backheeled the pass to Ivanovic, and Thibaut was called into action late on as his saves rescued a point for the Blues. In another match, Xabi Alonso was also red-carded on his 100 Champions League match appearance as 10-man Bayern Munich settled for a barren draw with Shakhtar Donetsk. And with the race for the final playoff position in the Kenya Cup heading down to the wire, Cabras Sugar, Mwamba and Impala have their hopes set on securing the spot as the preliminary round of Kenya Cup comes to an end this Saturday. It will be a battle of the table toppers as KCB RFC take on defending champions Nakuru Club in what is expected to be a mouth-watering clash in Nakuru.
After inflicting a third straight defeat to Strathmore Leos over the weekend, defending champions top fry Nakuru 17-6 win ensured Wanyore was still in contention for the top spot. Wanyore takes on table toppers KCB Lions in Nakuru this weekend. The Bankers have been the most outstanding team in the league so far, and Saturday's clash with Nakuru will produce the top team heading into the playoffs. The hunt for the fourth spot hots up pitting together Mwamba, Cabra Sugar and Impala Saracens. After last week's 27-10 win over Queens, Western-based Cabra Sugar are placed fourth on the log, and a win against Strathmore Leos will send them through. Mwamba, who mauled Black Blood 78-3, are fifth with 39 points, while Nondis are sixth with 37 points. Mwamba will face Mean Machine while Nondis take on Impala Saracens this Friday. The battle to survive relegation highlights Catholic Monks and Mombasa Club struggles to avoid the drop. Both teams are on level points at the bottom, with Mombasa taking 14th position, while Monks are 13th with Mean Machine being a distant 12th with 7 points. With the competition moving into the final week this weekend, all eyes will be out to see who makes it into the final four. Robinson Okenye, KTN Sports.
My name is Edith Kimani. That's where we wrap up our update at 1 p.m. Our next one coming your way at 4 p.m. So do stay with Standard Digital. Have a good day.